welcome to the Halloween episode of Syracuse Unpeeled. I'm Sarah Rebetje.
And I'm Landon Wexler. Now, Sarah, you're wearing a costume. I'm wearing a costume.
I am.
It must be, obviously it's Halloween.
It's Halloween. I'm the fearless feline.
And I'm a nerd, I think. No, I'm an intelligent human being. Forget.
All right.
We're going to get over this. Either way, tonight we'll be discussing Megyn Kelly's removal from the Today Show.
And the first sign language-based Starbucks in the U.S.
And Sarah and I got absolutely spooked in Delta Kappa Alpha's annual haunted house. And you'll get to see it all.
And finally, we'll give you the spookiest news of October.
And the soundtrack from the box office hit A Star Is Born is resting easy at #1 for the third week straight on the Billboard 200 albums chart. The album sold a total of 231,000 album equivalent units since the film's debut, according to my calculations. These units include 162,000 traditional albums and 48 million streams.
This is the fifth album to top the charts for both Gaga and Cooper, and the first time Lady Gaga has had an album stay at the top spot for more than 2 weeks since Born This Way in 2011. Wow, that is crazy. I mean, all my friends have been talking about this movie, and it just makes sense. Like, I hear it just randomly, like, going through my house. They're all listening to the soundtrack, so, like, all these stats really do make sense.
Now, I did my journalistic research before this. I actually I put on some music. I listened to the soundtrack.
Okay.
I heard Bradley Cooper sing his stuff. When I saw him in The Hangover, I was not like, this guy can sing. I was like, that's a handsome man. He can act. Yes, but Lady Gaga, it's crazy. This is the first. This is the longest Lady Gaga's soundtrack songs have ever stayed at the top since I think Born This Way, back in 2011.
Yes, since Born This Way.
Yeah.
Which is absolutely incredible because I know like Gaga songs are always on repeat in my head. So the fact that this is brand new and out now, it's incredible. It earned 109,000 units this week and 61,000 traditional sales and 43 million streams.
That's pretty darn big. And actually, okay, so biggest soundtrack ever to stay at the top of a Billboard soundtrack charts since High School Musical, and I think we've been jamming to High School Musical for quite some time.
Honestly, that's a feat because everyone was jamming to High School Musical. I remember having those parties where we would learn the dances together.
You can bet on it, Sarah. You can bet on it.
I definitely can. On to the next story. A spokesperson for NBC says Megyn Kelly today will not be returning to the network. The show plans to fill the time slot with other Today Show co-anchors. This follows a week of controversy and backlash surrounding Kelly's defense of blackface Halloween costumes.
Kelly's Today Show tenure has come to an end, but she currently remains an NBC News employee. A reporter for the network says negotiations are in the works to determine Kelly's future at NBC. Her former colleagues at Fox News have expressed their support. However, the networks itself will not be making room for Kelly in their lineup.
Well, we know that she has apologized, but Al Roker wasn't so keen about her apology. He said it was insufficient.
It just wasn't at all.
At all.
It's
at all.
crazy.
It wasn't enough. It was crazy. Like those comments were so offensive. And he even called out white chicks, what I thought was surprising. For whiteface, which is not really a term that I was familiar with before.
I definitely wasn't either. Okay, so that she definitely delivered like an emotional apology after that. You'd think, I'm sure in her head she thought maybe this was going to be this would make up for a lot. But her past has actually had a lot of issue with this. On Fox, she made it blatantly. She said, kids at home, or I think Santa, for kids at home, Santa is actually white. It's
yeah,
like, wow,
she was like, Santa
bold.
is white. And which is absolutely, it's like the fact that she was just like, oh, this is the way it is.
So this isn't surprising. This isn't too surprising, and it may be very well the end of her career.
And Fox said that they were supporting her, but they're like, we're not offering you a job.
Sorry, Kelly. Sorry.
Sorry, Kelly.
And it is the peak of spooky season since it's Halloween, and we'll be discussing the most important part of the holiday, the costumes.
This year, as in many years past, Hollywood stars did not disappoint. Landon, what were some of your favorites?
I can tell you right now, you and my costume, your costume are definitely top of the line right now. But outside of that, okay, so G-Eazy, we know the famous couple, G-Eazy and Halsey, or what was the famous couple.
Yes.
They just split, and G-Eazy and Halsey ended up coordinating, weirdly enough.
She looked amazing. She was Poison Ivy.
She was, and G-Eazy was Two-Face from Batman. I'm sure that may have been like a plan they may have had. Like,
I don't know, maybe they, like before they broke up, they were like, "This is what we're gonna be." I don't know how they came to come across that.
Possibly, but G-Eazy still was rocking it. Halsey was still rocking it, and that's okay.
And Kendall Jenner dressed as Fembot from Austin Powers at a Casamigos Halloween party. which I thought was really cool. She's bringing it back, and I love that movie, so she's killing it. She's like one of the top models in the world. So
highest paid for sure, and she is killing the game. But like, I don't know if you saw the picture of her with her modeling her little butterfly out. Like, no, not butterfly,
Yeah.
the fembot.
Yeah.
She was killing the game, and there's no getting
everything
around
she
that.
wears, she's just absolutely stunning. It fits her perfectly.
Making money for it, for sure.
Making money.
And then George Clooney, Cindy Crawford, and Randy Gerber dressed as pilots and a flight attendant. That's classic.
Classic look.
If we know George Clooney for anything, it's for classicness. You know?
I mean, they even formed their own like tequila brand, which is what this party was.
Casamigos. That's what it was about.
And just classic as always. So I'm really here for the fresh look, sleek, and going. Throwback to, I think what is about like 2016, Hillary Duff and her then boyfriend Jason Walsh dressed as Native Americans or a Native American and a pilgrim.
And now we're in this generation where we just talked about Megyn Kelly for doing just like blackface and things like that. This could also be offensive in a lot of cases. So there's
it's definitely offensive. So it's like good to know like what is cultural appropriation and looking out for that in your Halloween costumes.
No doubt about that. And when we come back, sports reporter Chris Sachi joins us to discuss the latest buzz surrounding SU athletics.
Don't go anywhere, Unpeelers.
Did you hear about the pony with a sore throat? He was a little horse. Can I tell you a cat joke? Just kidding. Why couldn't the Why was the basketball court all wet? Why? Because the players kept dribbling all over it. Where did cats go on vacation? New York.
Patriotism. It inspires passionate debate. It's worn like a badge of honor with good reason, because it means love and devotion for one's country. But what really makes up this country of ours? It's the people. To love America is to love all Americans. This year, patriotism shouldn't just be about pride of country. It should be about love. Love beyond age, sexuality, disability, race, religion, and other labels. Because love has no labels.
Welcome back, Unpeelers. Pop punk band Good Charlotte has released a music video accompanying the lead single Self-Help off their latest studio album. The intense video follows the story of a boxer's determination and focus during his training process. The track examines the desire to fight back and move forward after dealing with pain. This album marks the 7th LP for the band, and the group sees it as a return to their roots. Our music reporter, Tony Bianco, is in the studio to tell us about how music is promoting mental health. Hello, Tony. Welcome. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me. I'm the queen of music.
You are the queen of music.
I didn't want to be the queen of soul because, like, that's not my job.
That's true.
No, I did. I came as the queen of music today, so I'm gonna tell you all about mental health in music industry. And starting with Good Charlotte, they were really, really struck by the loss of Lil Peep just very recently, and it was very fresh in their minds when they were writing this album, and they thought about discussing mental health and the toll that it takes on people when they have like a mental illness or they're struggling with something. And this was, you said it, their 7th studio album. They've been around for a long time, and they've been talking about stuff like this since forever. And mental health awareness has been in the music industry for so long now. I just think it's like a really important thing to be talking about.
Absolutely. And now, what is the significance of an artist putting out a music video like that?
Right, so music videos kind of just, they culminate everything into like one video, and it's a visual for the lyrics and the meaning in those songs. And I think that that's what's so important about releasing a video and as well as the song and like an addition. So I think that those are very important to have together.
Yeah, so I was thinking, how have other artists, like made similar strides to support mental health?
Right, so we've seen a lot of artists talk about mental health and open up about their own struggles. You have somebody like Demi Lovato who has countless songs about mental health and her own struggles. She has Skyscraper and Warrior and all of the other like songs, and we've seen she's so open with her struggles, and I think that's super important. And I'm gonna actually be putting out on my Twitter a list of my top 10 most influential songs about mental health and how they've inspired me. So if you guys want to check that out later, it'll be up a little later tonight. I'm gonna give a little explanation about all of them. And I think my absolute favorite one is a song from a band called With Confidence, and it's called Voldemort, and it relates to Harry Potter because it's about like he who must not be named, and the fact that mental illness is a metaphor, is the metaphor to Voldemort, and it all kind of connects and ties, and I think that they do a really good job talking about it and making it fun and an exciting thing to talk about. And
Incredible.
about.
Well, please be on the lookout because Tony will be posting it for sure. And for the first time in 17 years, Syracuse's basketball and football teams are both ranked in the AP Top 25. After Syracuse football defeated North Carolina State over the weekend, Dino Baver's squad leapt into the number 22 spot in the poll. AP also ranked Orange basketball at number 16 to kick off the basketball season. And if you were excited as some Orange fans were, you may have shared your excitement on social media. Our sports reporter Chris Sachi is here to share some of what his excitement, the social media excitement, is all about. Chris, how's it going, my friend?
Good. How's it going? I'm good. I'm Frank Sinatra / ZZ Top / a mobster / the Blues Brothers. I've gotten everything tonight. People ask me what I am, but to get on with it now, I just want to remind everybody, about a month ago or so, I had a take on the show. I said Syracuse football will be ranked by the end of the season.
That was a hot take at the time.
That was a hot take, steaming.
Yeah, it was steaming. Around the station, people were calling me pretty foolish. It was steaming around the station, but hey, it's come true. But enough about me. First time this happened, football and basketball ranked since 2001. And let's take you back a little bit. Justin Timberlake and Britney Spears were the it couple at the time. The first iPod came out. Vince McMahon debuted the XFL. For all my sports guys out there, and all the single ladies were throwing their hands up. So it's been that long.
They better still be, But that's incredible, man.
So how did Syracuse fans react to this? Like, what was going on?
I mean, predictably, they were hype. I was hype. You guys had to be hyped too.
Oh, definitely.
We came into the station. We're a football school now, and we'll get to that a little later. I don't know if I want to really put the stamp on that yet. But all the tweets came out. We had a lot of people saying, this is the first time since I was, maybe 2-3 years old that this has ever happened. Fans on social media, as you said right here, Brandon Ross, member of CitrusTV, first time since he was 2 that this has happened. So it's really been that long, and it's rare for Syracuse. We've always been known as the basketball school, but right now football, it's creeping up there a little bit.
Creepy.
It's about darn time too, huh? My gosh. And then now, let's see.
Yeah. So how did they do it?
I mean, of course, the big win this weekend, 51-41 over NC State. They were previously ranked number 22. Now that ranking belongs to the Cuse, but it's been a lot of other factors this season as well. The close, the heartbreaking fight, 27-24, the loss to Clemson in their home stadium. They call it Death Valley, so it's hard to win there. Cuse still put up a good fight. So at this point, and let's not forget Florida State early on in the season, 30-7 that victory for Syracuse at home. So it's been just other games. NC State was pretty good, but we've been building up a pretty good resume here. And at number 22, it's not bad. We'll take it.
Well, let's hope it stays around for a while, huh?
It's a great year to be an Orange.
Well, stick around because we have some new details on Apple's new streaming service, and you'll figure it out. We'll have all the details. We'll be right back.
This is the story of a boy who didn't talk for a long time. The boy liked things to always be the same. Any changes would scare and upset him. The unknown was an unfriendly place. The boy was very sensitive to lights and sounds. So he built secret hiding places where they couldn't get in. The boy didn't like looking people in the eye. He wasn't trying to be mean, it just made him feel uncomfortable. Sometimes he would flap his arms again and again.
One day I found out I have something called autism. My family got me help. Slowly, I found my voice and learned all the ways I could live with it better.
Early intervention can make a lifetime of difference. Learn the signs at autismspeaks.org.
Back on Peelers, Apple has some original programming in the works for its forthcoming streaming service. The tech giant announced recently that Steve Carell will be joining Jennifer Aniston and Reese Witherspoon in an upcoming TV series. The show will be based on the lives of morning show hosts and is set to debut in 2019 as one of the headliners for Apple's new streaming service. Joining us now to discuss the news is our TV reporter, Andrew Goldberg. How are you doing, my friend?
I'm doing well. What's going on? We got Tom Cruise coming at you from Top Gun.
Cruise.
But
I love Tom Cruise.
no, anyway, yes, like you said, Apple is bringing in Steve Carell, which we probably know is the world's best boss, Michael Scott.
No doubt about that.
To be the male lead in an upcoming drama for their new streaming service, which is really exciting. It's set to debut sometime in 2019 and is expected to be pretty similar to Netflix, Hulu, Amazon, and some of the other big streaming services out there.
So what can you tell us about this new show? Is it based on a true story or?
Close. So it's actually based on a collection of stories from a book written a few years back. And that book is called Top of the Morning, Inside the Cutthroat World of Morning TV. And it's all about sort of like the daily grind of morning news and detailing accounts of Good Morning America and the Today Show. And it's featuring a really good cast. In addition to Carell, it's got Reese Witherspoon, Jennifer Aniston. So people are already really looking forward to this one.
No doubt about that. That cast has got me excited already.
Yeah.
Now, how is this going to fit into Apple's TV strategy moving forward, do you think?
Right, so Apple is really trying to follow Netflix's playbook, which is betting big on creating fresh, new, original content and really paying big for it. And yes, it's going to be expensive, but at the same time, this is a proven strategy to bring in tons of new viewers like it has for Netflix. So I think this is going to be a pretty good move for Apple. And as for the show fitting into this idea, I think the show will sort of bring some legitimacy to Apple's streaming service because they're already developing some reality type shows like a Carpool Karaoke spinoff.
Love Carpool Karaoke.
And it's going to be popular, but this show has serious actors, it has a real storyline, and I think it's going to give a bit of a variety from just the reality type shows.
So you think it'll be able to compete with some of the major streaming leaders?
Well, it's going to be difficult in the beginning because there are a lot of streaming services already out there, and they add up. If you have to pay for Netflix, Hulu, Amazon, and so on, people might not want to pay for an additional streaming service. But as the numbers back up, people will watch good content created by good writers and good actors, and I think if Apple continues to bring those people in, they're going to do very well.
That's a great point. That is such a great point. And on to one of my favorite stores. Starbucks made history this week by opening its first U.S.-based sign language store in Washington, D.C. It is employed by a majority of deaf and partially deaf workers. The store is regional to Gallaudet University, a school for the deaf and hard of hearing. Created to embrace the deaf community, the coffee franchise will feature artwork from local deaf artists and use deaf-friendly technology in the new store. Here to tell us about some of these new features is our food reporter, Brooke Stevenson.
Hi, so I'm really excited to talk about this. I know that we have a lot of Starbucks on campus, and it's obviously a very, very, very popular place. So not only is this it's popular, I mean, obviously it's popular because they make great coffee, but it's also a social place, it's a community. And so I think that the reason that this is so significant is because it's, opening the door to a community that seldom has a highlight on their needs and how to best accommodate them. And it's inviting them into that part of pop culture and into that space that, Americans absolutely love and that we obsess over.
It's true, and everyone needs that space for sure, especially at Starbucks. Everyone needs that.
Yeah.
Now, how much different is this store going to look like?
So it's going to be pretty different. They have some really significant physical changes, which are absolutely specified to deaf and hard of hearing people. And they actually were able to partner with Gallaudet University in order to make sure these are the services that deaf and hard of hearing people want. We're not just going to shoot in the dark here.
Yeah.
We really want to make sure that we're catering it to them. So, for example, they have significantly lower countertops. They have much brighter lighting, no background noise whatsoever, no music. And instead of having a typical menu where it's all words, they have a very large, mostly picture-based menu.
Oh, wow.
So oftentimes, if they just want to sign I want and then point to that, in addition to that, they have an iPad where customers can write down their orders.
Wow.
And instead of the typical shouting Matt or Sarah or whatever the order is, they have a wall that displays.
Yeah. So are all the workers are they versed in sign language?
Absolutely. Every single one of their employers or their employees is fluent in sign language, and obviously it's open to patrons who are not hard of hearing, and so they're interested in actually teaching the hearing community a bit of sign language as well. So whether that's
Starbucks is so great. That
Pretty
makes me
incredible.
so happy.
Yeah.
No doubt about that. And up next, we'll be taking you inside Delta Kappa Alpha's annual haunted house.
Keep it here, Unpeelers. Welcome back. Last weekend, Landon and I visited Delta Kappa Alpha's annual haunted house to raise money for the Serious Fun Children's Network.
This charity gives children with serious illnesses the opportunity to experience summer camp in a safe environment.
But the haunted house we went to was not the safest environment.
Not
Let's
at
take a
all.
look.
How's it going, Unpeelers? Sarah and I, we're here at the DKA Haunted House. How you feeling, Sarah?
I'm really nervous, but I'm ready for the thrill. I love to try new things, so let's go. I'm
If
excited.
I start crying, are you going to help me through this?
I'm probably gonna run.
As we're officially in here. Okay. Okay. Walk this way, they say. Oh,
Walk this
okay.
way,
All
I'm gonna make you
Tonight, we perform a ceremony in his honor.
Yo, absolutely not. Absolutely not. Oh,
I think those are cannibals.
that's a kid. Oh my. Don't you. Here. Break down. Oh. Yo.
No. Oh my god. Oh.
Okay. Oh God. That is freaky. Oh.
No.
Nope.
I don't know. What did he do to me?
I don't even know. Yo, this is freaky. The thing is sideways. This. Oh no.
Oh my god.
Oh my God.
Help me!
Yo.
Get me out of here!
Absolutely.
Let's go. Let's go.
Oh.
All right, thank you for coming to Delta Kappa Alpha's Haunted House annual charity for serious fun. Hope you guys got scared a little bit.
A little bit. 1,000%. Well, thank you so much, pal.
thanks
Thank
for
you
coming.
for scaring
Thanks
the
for
heck of
coming.
us.
Oh my gosh,
And
thank you.
Unpeelers, hope they didn't scare you too much, and we'll be right back. Oh?
Wow.
Oh? I'm still scared, Sarah.
Okay, I don't think the camera really showed how like freaky it was because the camera had like a light that it was shining in everyone's eyes, but we had to endure the darkness and the Did you see me freak out in the beginning?
Yeah.
I was
Did
like,
I see you freak out the entire thing,
Because-
Sarah? Oh my, okay, there was this one, when I said that thing was the girl was carrying a wagon side, it's like, girl, you gotta figure yourself out. She was
I know, and I had some friends in there, and I didn't recognize them, and that they were like, "Didn't you like come to the house?" And I was like, "Yes." Didn't you see me there? And they were like, "Yeah." Like I was this costume, and I was like, "What?" I was like, the makeup was so good. I was like, I can't even.
That was definitely the scariest thing. I've never been in a haunted house, so that was a big moment. And
Yeah.
if you want to learn more about the Serious Fun, visit SeriousFunNetwork.org. Oh my gosh, and I'm still kind of scared. But after this, Sarah and I will bring you the spookiest stories of the week. Spookier than that.
So stay tuned, Unpeelers.
fancy pants peanut butter? A big screen television. You haven't even bought a sofa yet. A motorcycle? When your father finds out, he's gonna flip his shoes with 2 buckles? What do you even need 2 buckles for? Mr. Big Shot, buying whiskey shots for everybody in the bar. From the looks of it, I'd say nobody even remembers. Feed the pig.
I see you mobbing over her. Let's go. Let's mob. Let's crawl. Let's crawl. Let's crawl. Hey, yo, we mobbing. Come on, girl. Let's crawl. Hey, yo, let's crawl. Hey, yo, let's crawl. Hey, let's crawl. Hey, yo, let's crawl.
Welcome back. In honor of Halloween, Landon and I will be giving you the latest spooky news.
Ooh.
Astronomers say a skull-shaped asteroid is set to pass Earth shortly after Halloween. The last time it passed Earth was in 2015 on Halloween night. Back then, NASA called it the Great Pumpkin Asteroid.
But this year they are calling it the Death Comet. Astronomers say the name change is because the asteroid has a rough texture and looks more like a skull than a pumpkin. If you want to see it yourself, November 11th, you'll need a clear night, so not in Syracuse, and a telescope. And in more spooky news, a tall man and a girl in white were reportedly spotted holding candles through a basement window. Yeah. It was big.
It was big.
And it was abandoned in a Vance Hotel in North Carolina. The Vance has been vacant since 2006. Sounds pretty spooky to me.
Yeah, police checked the premises and found no evidence of candles or vandalism, but the mystery still remains. This isn't the first sighting of a little girl dressed in white at the hotel. This spooky spectacle has been witnessed since the 1970s.
Oh
my goodness.
Every
Okay, well,
bit of
first of
this.
all, I'm going to go see the asteroid, definitely.
Big.
'cause
Just
I
gotta
think that's
leave
really cool.
the upstate New York, because this is nuts.
This is not the best weather to watch it in.
Not a chance.
But I really want to talk about the second story. That freaks me out so much. I believe it. I have to believe that there's definitely like a white girl dressed in something somewhere. That freaks me out so much. Definitely in some kind of basement. I'm glad that I don't live in the middle of nowhere. I'm still convinced my house here on Syracuse is haunted. We call our ghost Marie.
So you do believe in ghosts?
Yes, of course I do. Marie leaves our door open all the time.
No.
Yes, she does.
Can you? What if it's your roommate? Like your roommate
It's not
could be
my roommate. We know because I've seen it open by itself without anyone there.
wind. I think I
It's not
actually took an
wind.
astronomy class
It is
once
Marie.
and wind.
It is Marie. I'm telling you, it is Marie. So I definitely believe this story because you can't prove that it's not true. I'm not wrong.
You can't prove it's true though.
Yeah, but you can't prove it's not.
Fair enough.
You see, my logic makes sense.
I do.
It's very logical.
It does make sense. Sarah, I think you've convinced me, even
Thank
though you have not.
Ghosts are real.
Well, that's all the time we have for tonight. I'm Landon Wexler.
And I'm Sarah Rebetje. Tune in next week for an exclusive interview with Audrey Miller from Orange Seeds.
And Syracuse, you have a spooky, safe night.